So just first of all, sort of basics. Just sort of when and why did you decide to retire this season?
Good question. I mean, if I can play for the rest of my life, I would. But your career eventually comes to an end. And it just felt right for me. I think the club's in a really good place. I think, sorry, are they working? And, we've invested in the youth and seeing them come in and really turn this club into something else. I think for me, that's exactly what I wanted to see and where I wanted to leave it. So it felt right this year. I feel like every year I'm like, okay, maybe one more, but 13 just seemed right for me. And I just felt right in my heart. I think that's what I led with, and that's what felt right. Yeah.
We were talking to Shay earlier, and she mentioned that you had told her sort of at the beginning of the season that you were going to retire. Like, have you known that long? Was it like I might retire? When did it sort of become like I am definitely retiring?
Yeah, I think as you get older and every year you continue to play, I feel like I was pushing it and pushing it, my body and my mind already. So yeah, I think at the beginning of the year, I kind of committed to it, but then, a few people tried to convince me to play another year. So then I kind of held off on it, kind of told my tight circle initially, just so they were like ready and could support me through this year if that's what ended up happening. So yeah, I've told the few ones at the beginning and wrote it out for a little bit, but then, mid-season came and I was like, yeah, like it feels right. I talked to my family and everyone's kind of on board, and the love and support I've had this whole year has been great. So, and as I have processed through this year and have come to the decision, yeah, the way I feel, I know it was right.
A lot of stuff to pick from, but do you have sort of a favorite memory or accomplishment from your career?
I think just the growth of the club is important to me, and I know that's not me as an individual, but I think there's been a lot of people in this room that have helped build that for so long. That's probably something I'm most proud of. I think, women's soccer in Seattle is definitely on the map, and there's a reason for that, and that started a long time ago. And continuing to be competitive in this league is really hard to do, and we've done that for so long. I'm super proud of that. Obviously, the Shields, the champions, winning the league is always like really fun. But for me, it's always been the relationships that like made this journey so special, and the people that we've met. Historically, what you hear about the Reign is that you want to be a part of this environment, and that's something I'm extremely proud of, because I think that allows people that have come in and gone to be themselves, thrive in football, and yeah, never want to leave, and that's what happened to me.
And then Laura and Leslie, and then I'll let someone else talk. But just obviously a couple more games with Lou. But once she is fully done playing, how and where do you think her impact on this club will continue to be felt and be visible?
I think it will be felt forever, honestly. I think that she summed herself up with her answer just then, really, of it's never really been about Lou. It's always been about the bigger impact of what she does to the club and everybody around her. But I know what we're going to do. We're going to celebrate her for being her for the next however long this season goes on for and beyond. But her legacy will live forever, I think.
And Lou's going to have to suck it up and let us.
Yeah. Honestly, I'm getting a little teary-eyed right now.
I know. I might too.
Yeah. Comes and goes in waves.
Yeah. So when you talk about Lou and what her stamp and legacy will be on the club, this club is Lou. Laura took a little blip in the middle somewhere. Pino played a certain percentage of games we won't discuss. Jess went on a lot of national team duty trips and has obviously been an OG as well. But when you talk about Lou Barnes, she is the stalwart of the team. This team, the standard of play, the demeanor, the acceptance, the inclusion, that's all Lou. I mean, that's the only way you can put it. It's Lou Barnes. And for anybody that's ever been outside, inside, around the club, the people in the league know it, players in the league know it, the number of players that have come through our club know it, the people that have worked here know it. The coaches that have had the opportunity to coach her and watch her entire career, not just as a professional, but as a collegiate player and a youth player like I have, know the mark she's left as a human being and as a player. And I don't want to take away from the playing piece, because she is such an extraordinary human. She's also an extraordinary player, extraordinary. So it'll be lasting.
All right, and then we'll go over here to Charles and then Jada.
Lou, you mentioned
It's chain
uh,
gang.
the youth of the club and the club investing in that. I know it's about the club and not you, but what do you hope that those younger players? Bella mentioned, we talked to Shay. She had gushing words about you. What do you hope those younger players, whether it's the defenders or the whole club, just take from you, your experiences with them, and your playing career as well?
Yeah, I think about myself as a player. Like, I love football and being consistent, and I hope I bring that joy when I come into work every single day that they can take away from that. And we've always talked about as a club, I've always wanted to leave a space where you can be yourself, whatever that looks like, and I think we've done a very good job at that. So I hope that, this next generation feels that and continues to build on that, but also takes pieces of what's made me successful and then bring their own kind of spice in there, which I definitely see with this new group coming in. It's so exciting to see. So for me is just, uplifting. I think my role is to essentially guide them. And that's what this year's been about for me. Show them, how to be professional, how to be successful, how to be competitive. And to do that in our league day in and day out is hard to do. And for a 17-year-old coming in here, not going to college and coming into pros is difficult. And that's like what the older players are here for. But I don't want it to be anything scary. This is supposed to be like, come in, be yourself, be successful. And you've definitely seen that with this group. I think from start to finish of this year, we've had so many different starting 11s, and that's a testament to these young ones coming in and being in form, dropping out of form, coming back in form, and that's our career. But it was essentially for me to help them stay in it for an entire season and guide them through that. And it's been a blessing this year.
Thanks. Lou, congratulations on your career and this decision. How much did your role change this season play a part into your decision to retire? Like, playing more off the bench and, less minutes. And I know that like you've had a couple of injuries too that you had to fight through. Were those factors at all?
Yeah, I think my role, honestly, when you start with a club in 2013, that you're always kind of a senior player. So for me, like that role of, helping and guiding and just being glue is essentially what we kind of talk about all the time. That happens whether you start or don't start. I think that's what a professional is coming in and doing your job. We sign a contract and this is what it looks like. And for me, stepping on this side of it, whether it was starting or not, has been so much fun because you do see this youth come in with like bright, just so much vibrant around us. And I think like for me being at the club for so long and playing for so long, you essentially, kind of fall out of that or lose it every once in a while. So, having this like freshness come in, like brought the child back out in me. It's been such a fun, like full circle. Whereas as I was getting older, this year I felt younger and was able to kind of tap into that again and just enjoy watching them go through what I just went through for 13 years and hopefully, expediting anything that I can for them to like learn or feel accepted, whatever it may be. And I've enjoyed that role so much. Like I've loved it.
And then can you talk a little bit, I don't think I've ever really heard you talk about the early days, I guess, with what Laura helped you with in transitioning positions, right? Outside back to center back. Is that kind of correct, I guess,
Yeah.
in a sense? What was that like, those earlier days when you were actually figuring out your position on the back?
For sure. We call it a transition, but I think my whole life I was probably center back, and she saw that before anyone else did.
Oh, okay.
Especially in this league, I am an out-and-out center back. If I've had to fill in, it's just because I've had to fill in. But I think, and I've always told her, she's given me a career. She saw something in me before I even saw it in myself. So the transition was quite easy. She saw who I was as a player and a person, and that definitely suits her style and what she wanted to build this club around. And she's done that so well. So for me, it was just, she trusted me, and that's all I really needed. And it's, been history since.
The last one for me. I'm gonna copy Bella here.
Yeah.
You with leaving,
Mm-hmm.
that defense though, has been pretty strong for the Reign. Not too many matches where You've seeded a lot of goals, I think, and that a lot to me like is the way that you've kind of captained that back line and helped out with that defense. How I guess nice is it to see it grow? Like you have some younger players that can fill in those roles, like Phoebe, like that are kind of coming in and taking that part over for you as far as the transition goes of it.
Yeah, I've been waiting for it. Yeah. I think, yeah, just going back to the youth, like this generation and Phoebe's generation, there's been such a great development of players. And to see that we build our team a certain way, and, we always look at players not just on the field, but off the field. And I think that's what I'm so proud of this back line and this team in general. It's like just been such a fun collaboration to work with them all. And it's been so much fun for me to see the growth where it's like, beat me out of my position. I'm being beaten out of my position. And that's what you want, and for a lot of them to be so young. It's so incredible to see, so yeah, Phoebe's our next one. How old is Phoebe?
27.
Yeah, Phoebe's 27, and that's young, yeah, and she's our next oldest in the back line. So just to see where it's going to be incredible. Like we haven't even touched the ceiling. So I'm super excited. Yeah.
All right, and then we'll go over to Steve.
Lou, I want to ask you, you've been here since the beginning. You were at the end of WPS as well. So a lot of things have changed over the years, much larger salaries, new ownership, new stadium multiple times. I wonder if now, as you're kind of at the end of your career, you could reflect back a little bit on all that growth that you've seen and what things you feel like you still want to see improve even more going forward.
Yeah, we always talk about this, and I think how fast women's soccer has grown, I think especially in the last 3 to 5 years, has been really incredible to see. I still think there's so much to kind of dig into and really reflect on, I guess, for me, because I think from outsiders looking in, it always looks incredible, and it is. But I think, what I've seen with the new ownership is investment is so important. And I think that's what has really helped women's soccer kind of take off is the genuine and legit investments going back into us. And that's been what's been exciting for me. That's why you can see salaries go up. That's why you can see this be a lifestyle. And, in 2013, I probably had 8 different jobs, with soccer being your number one. So just seeing that these players now can just focus on football and not have to worry about anything else is like the overall goal that I've always wanted to see in football. And it's close. It's like getting there. And I think, yeah, I like everyone's like, oh, old people are like bitter about like leaving and stuff, and I'm like, yeah, of course I want to be a part of that, but like I'm also so proud that like we built that so this next generation can be a part of that, and that's just as fulfilling for me.
And we saw today with the announcement of the Back of Kit sponsor, there's going to be a Lou Barnes Award given out to a member of the team each year going forward. What does that mean to you to kind of have that legacy carrying forward for the team?
Yeah, I remember like obviously there's been so much going on around retirement, and I remember reading a email from Maya, and I was like, that's perfect. I didn't know that's like what I needed and what I wanted, and I think we talk about legacies like living on. This is a great way to do it for me, personally. But it's humbling, for sure. And I think football has always been bigger than football, and this is like spot on. And I think this is what we've always been about, being very excellent on and off the field.
And one more for me.
Yeah, great question.
If you need a minute, go ahead. Hopefully you've got 5 more games left before you need to think about this, but have you given consideration to what sort of things you want to be doing going forward now that you're going to be off the field?
Yeah, I want to be a part of this growing club as much as I possibly can. I feel like I have still so much to give, right? I gave all I could on the field, and the next chapter for me is to continue that fight and whatever it looks like. So, and I've been so fortunate that this club will allow that and wants that and sees that we're aligned on that. So yeah, don't know what exactly it looks like yet, but yeah, I hope to stay here. This is home.
All right, then we'll go over here to Bella, and then I think Jada next.
I'm back with several more questions. Another one for Laura and Leslie, because we can't leave you guys out. But I'm,
Give her a break.
but just sort of, what will you miss most about Lou being here?
Oof, that's a tough question. I think Lou just is consistent, like she spoke about. I think she's always just turned up every day and been who she is. And that's reliable, right? And that's sort of like reliable, consistent personality on and off the field that you can always just turn to. She's been the glue, and I think when the three OGs were here, they all played their own little roles slightly differently. But Lou's was always the glue of bringing it all back together again. So I think that's the biggest thing that we'll miss. My answer's very short today for a reason.
I think that, just to tack on to what Laura said, I think with Lou, what will be missed, and I know for a fact she's passed it on in some ways to every player that she's played with, and the current players on the team, the younger players, have just been sponges to following her actions more than her words, and her behaviors and how she carries herself. The reliability, the consistency. I think what people don't see is how tiring it is to be a leader. It's exhausting. And to play as many games as she has and to perform on the field at the level that she has, while simultaneously carrying the load of the entire squad pretty much all the time. If there's a question, I don't know, ask Lou. We're not winning. People are down in the dumps. You never saw Lou crumble. She held the team up constantly. During the 18 months of the sale, which is the time that I came into the club and the house was on fire, what was the way they said on my interview? Lou was on it. The house is on fire, then another one would chime in, and it's at the edge of a cliff, and there's a stiff wind coming, and it was actually hilarious. But I could tell the weight that was on her shoulders to keep the group together as much as possible. And let's all remember we went to the final that year. That's Lou. And so what we'll miss is exactly that consistency, that reliability, and someone that's willing to shoulder the tough things, but still carrying themselves in a way that probably is not taking care of themselves emotionally and mentally and physically as much as they should be, although she did a good job of that as well. But it's difficult to be that person. And whether someone wants to step into that role or not, or gravitates towards that role, is yet to be seen in this club. And whoever that next person is, if there's someone that's in the club currently that got to play with her, they'll have had the ultimate leader to show them how to do it.
And then for you specifically, Laura, Lou is one of those players where maybe not the star of the team, never got a lot of national team call-ups, maybe not someone a casual fan knows, but someone who, anyone who's been around the league knows she is one of the best players to ever play in this league. Can you sort of describe or explain to someone who maybe doesn't know why she is one of the best players to ever play in this league?
Well, she has one of the best left foots I've ever seen, so there's that. She's also a centre-back who Cruyff turns in their own 18-yard box, so that used to give me heart attacks. We've gradually faded that out over the last couple of years, thankfully. And her ability to pass in range is phenomenal. Her understanding of the game has obviously, over the years, got better and better and better. And I think the American sort of way as being physical, strong, fast, will get you out of a lot of things. Well, Lou wasn't blessed with all of those things, so she had to use her brain. Her brain worked faster than anyone's feet or strength could, right? And it got her to be able to be in the right position 99.9% of the time. And it's still happening today, right? Like that's still there. And I think that's something that it's really hard to coach that into people. But letting them see someone who does it the way that Lou's done it, and consistently done it. And they're the players that you always want in your team. You don't want the players who some week are 9 out of 10 and some weeks are 2 out of 10. You actually want the 7, 8 out of 10 every week. They're the ones you really want. And that's been Lou's whole career, is that 7 out of 10 every week. And her ability to hit a weak side pocket will live on for the rest of her life. So.
And then another one for you, Lou. Just talk to, as Charles mentioned, we talked to several of your teammates today, and we talked to Phoebe. And something she mentioned was just how unserious you are. That was very important to her.
That's what we're taking away.
That was. I asked if she had anything else to add, and she was like, "I want people to understand that Lou is incredibly unserious." But just she meant it obviously as a compliment. How important is it to balance that unseriousness with the the competitiveness to be able to have such like a key to a long and successful career?
Honestly, I'm doing what I love. Like, yeah, there's serious places, I guess, but I think as a whole, like, this is our environment. Like, you need to prepare how you need to prepare, and whatever that's going to make you be what you need to be. If that's, you're a starter, you're a bubble player, you're developing, you're coming off the bench, like whatever that looks like. And that's what we pride ourselves on here. Like, we allow that. Like, if you can be goofy and then the game and switch on and you can be you, like, you're here, you're in the right place. Yeah. And I think for me, like, I obviously found that pretty easy to like dive into early on. And it's my personality. Like, I play like that on the field. I'm like that off the field. I lead with humor pretty much all the time. I think, if you look at our, I mean, I don't know if you've ever spoken to Shay. Like, it's just like kind of what we have. She, you can't tell if Shay is telling the truth or not. And I mean that in like the best case, so, yeah, I hope that's just something that like when you come into this environment that, we allow you to be that way. Like, I think I've been on teams like in Australia and Sweden where it was like, it was so rigid and so like strict that like you couldn't be creative, you couldn't be you. Like she was saying early on, like the way I play as a center back is not a center back, but she allowed me to be that. And then, you can mold however you need to moving forward as years go on. And I think that is something that I've loved here. I've never felt like I've had to go to work. And I think that's exactly like, you're in the right place if that's how you feel. And I hope you can take away. And honestly, I've seen it more out of Phoebe in the last 2 years than I ever have. Like, if you guys know Phoebe, she is like tough as nails and is serious and is so hard on herself, where we were like, you have to switch that. Like, eventually, like, it's okay to mess up. Like, you can laugh at practice. Like, you can be you, and we will still help you. We will still get you to where you want to be. You'll still be successful. So I'm glad that she's taking that away because, yeah, I think we can all use that a little bit more. Like, we literally have the best job in the world. Football's so much fun. There's so much beauty in it. So to be serious all the time seems like a robbery.
I wanted to ask best games that you for Lou. Like what best coaching moments, best games, things like that you kind of will reflect on.
Oh, there's a lot. One that always springs to mind, and I don't even know if you all remember this game, but it was either in 2016 or 2017, and we were away in Chicago, and we were losing. And I was really unhappy at halftime, and we'll go past that. And we came out in the second half, and we were really pushing for a goal. And this, I can't remember who the forward was, but the forward was like trying to run Lou down, and Lou like swiped it off. I like slide tackled her, passed it to someone. It might have been Jess, and then they passed it to someone else, and we scored. And then literally 2 seconds later, they kick off. A similar thing happens. Ball goes to Lou. Lou passes it forward. The next person passes it forward, and we score, and we win 2-1. And I was like, I just remember Lou collapsed on the floor, like when we scored. And I was just like, yeah, like you're the reason that we've had that. Like they've tried to get you down the side and outrun you, and you've like got a tackle in there, and then you've nicked it off them and created an opportunity from it twice. Out of the thing. And I think like those little things spring to mind for me. One of my favorite was when it was really hot in Kansas City one game.
This is not
so hot. And
I don't do well in the heat, everyone. it's
and,
historically.
Lou was like left side by me, and I go, Lou, you need to go left a bit more. And she goes, I don't know what left or right is right now. And I went, I think we need to get her. I think we need to sub her off. That was a good one.
Yeah.
And honestly, just any really positive moment you can think back on the field with this club, she'll have been there, you know. And I think that says everything about who Lou's been, is she's just always been there. So yeah.
Lou, you were mentioning how Seattle's like home to you now. I wonder if you could reflect back a little bit, end of 2012, start of 2013. You know, what if you had communication with Laura or with Bill before the supplemental draft, or kind of what your thoughts were about coming to this new team in Seattle?
Yeah, so I ended up kind of, I guess this is my second retirement. And the WPS folded, and I didn't end up playing anymore. I went and coached at UC Riverside, which is close to home for me. And at the time, my boss was like, you shouldn't be on this side of the line yet. And I was like, well, there's no true opportunity for women right now. Like, you would have to go overseas, and still that's like quite amateur. And then in the WPS, when I was playing, it was just like every day you were talked about, like, is there going to be a job? Is it folding? Is it what not? And I was like, I don't really know if like I even want to be a part of that. Like, that's stressful. I was making $0. So I was like, you know, I was making 3 times as much as I was playing, going into coaching like right away. So I was like, you know, like maybe that's not it for me. And then I heard talks about the NWSL coming in. I was like a little hesitant because like you couldn't trust much at the time. And then I remember getting like a phone call from like a foreign number, and I was like, what is this? Like, okay. So I picked the phone up, and it's Laura, and she's like, you know, like, what do you think about Seattle? I've just heard great things of you as like a person. Like, we didn't even talk about soccer. And I was like, sweet, I better like jump into this now before, you know, anything else changes. And she's like, how do you feel about staying on the West Coast? And I am West Coast through and through, being a California native. And my first year was in Philly, and I was like, never again, like, get me out. I want to go back to the West Coast. No offense to anyone over there, but it wasn't for me. And so I was just like, yes, please pick me up. Please pick me up in the draft. And then as, you know, a few days like went on, we got like emails about preseason, and I got an email about it being in Japan, and I was like, surely this is like, has to be a scam. I'm like, financially, like, our league just folded and we're going to take a whole team to Japan and like play over there. Like, I couldn't wrap my head around it. So I was like, yeah. So I like, you know, texted our team ops probably at the time, and I was like, is this legit? Like, are we really going to Japan? And it was, and I feel like that like story and that trip like sums up my experience at this club. Like, it was like so wild, and it was just like buckle up, and it's been like that ever since in the best way possible. And we kind of just shot off, and we were like, yes, second to last in 2013, then won the Shields, you know, the next 2 years. Like that, you know, you like process that. It's
you guys were, if anybody remembers that first season, everybody remembers for about the first month and a half, they definitely still seemed jet lagged.
Yeah. Well, yeah.
Laura never got over it. Like, that whole trip, they came back, it was like, I think they're still on Japan time.
Yeah. It was rough. It was rough. So I don't even remember your question at this point, but yeah, that was like, yeah, those were the
Seattle.
thoughts early on. Yeah. And I think when you're able to get through something like that with a group, especially we had a core group after that, it's so easy to buy in, and you just know it's your people and this is where you want to be. And that's how it felt for me. You kind of just got thrown into the deep end, and it was just like sink or swim, and we swam, and we're here now.
All right, and then we can close with Charles.
To just kind of build off of that, Lou, can you speak to more about, you know, Seattle and seeing the city go, you know, being here for this long? Seattle's, I know the announcement for the PWHL team, they're like, Seattle's one of the most women's sports, like they love their women's sports here, and I feel like seen a lot of that. The Storm have been here for a good amount of time, but can you speak to the growth that you've seen in Seattle for, I mean, generally, but also, you know, the women's sports community here and how much they support the teams here?
Yeah, I think when I came in, even just being under the ownership of the Predmores, it always felt so family orientated here. And that's like something I loved. Like, I love being, you know, close, and I guess when you spoke to other clubs about like their ownership, they never saw them, right? And like, we were with the Predmores at their house growing up with their kids. Like, it was such a different experience. And I think that's Seattle as a whole. Like, I think when I came in here as a player, and then the Reign itself, there's just like a sense of belonging and purpose. And I think that's why, you know, we probably have the most players that have been with one club for the longest. There's a reason for that, and that is the community, and that is Seattle in general. And I think, yeah, for me, it was so easy to be a part of something that felt bigger as well. And that's always what soccer has been for me. And this city provided that, supported it. I think about just things I love outside of football. It aligns with the city of Seattle so much. And, you know, they've loved that as well, which is why I think I've been so connected with the community for so long. Yeah, and I think when you have, you know, you feel that love and support and that backing, like, why would you want to go anywhere else, you know? And to see what we've built from 2013 to now is just a testament to that. It truly is a village that have done that. So.
Mm-hmm.
All right. Thank you, everyone. Thanks, Leslie.
Thank
Laura.
you.
Thanks,
Yeah,
Lou.
thanks,
Thank
everybody.
you. Yeah, thank you guys.